I'm going to be talking to you about texting and driving. I feel that nowadays everybody has their cell phones with them all the time, and it doesn't stop once they enter the vehicle. So this is a picture of Eric. Eric had a passion for riding bikes. He completed his first bike marathon when he was 16 years old. He was out riding his bike one day. He was close to home when a teenage driver struck him with her vehicle. She was driving 60 miles per hour and did not brake or swerve prior to hitting him. It was later revealed that she was texting at the time of impact, and Eric did end up dying as a result of his injuries. This is Callie Ann. Callie Ann was only 2 years old. She was at the local park with her mother. They were walking on their way home. They were going to cross an intersection, and they were hand in hand when a teenage driver crossed the intersection and struck both of them with her car. Callie Ann died as a result of her injuries, and her mother was critically injured. It was later revealed that the driver was texting when driving prior to the impact. This is Alex. Alex was a high school student. She was on her way to school one day driving in her truck. She was not wearing her seatbelt, and she was driving over the speed limit. She ended up losing control of her truck. Her truck rolled over several times, and she was thrown from the vehicle. After multiple attempts to revive her, she did end up passing away, and it was later revealed in her cell phone records that she was texting just prior to losing control of her truck. So texting and driving kills 9 people every day. Many people don't realize that this is a problem. 77% of young adults actually feel pretty confident that they can safely text while driving. So texting and driving is considered distracted driving according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Distracted driving is driving your vehicle while doing another activity that takes your attention away from driving. There are 3 types of distracted driving. The first one is visual. That's when you take your eyes off the road. As you can see in this picture, the woman is looking down at her phone right now. The second one is manual, and that's when you take your hands off the wheel. As you can see, she has her hand off the wheel on her cell phone right now. And the third one is cognitive. That's when you take your mind off of what you're doing. So when you're texting and driving and you're focused on your phone, you are not cognitively thinking about what's going on around you. So I want you all right now to close your eyes, pretend that you're driving down the road, and do not open them until I tell you to. Ready? Close your eyes. Okay, you can open them. So you had your eyes closed for approximately 5 seconds. That is the minimum amount of time that your eyes are off the road while you are texting and driving. If you're driving 55 miles per hour, that is equivalent to driving 1 length of a football field. People who text and drive are 23 times more likely to get in an accident than non-texters. Handheld or hands-free devices, they delay your reaction time equivalent to somebody who has a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08, which is the legal limit, above the legal limit to drive. And 60% of drivers admit to using their cell phones while driving. That's the percent of people that actually admit it. So the real percentage is probably even higher than that. 80% of crashes involve some form of inattention within 3 seconds of the incident. And every day during daylight hours, there are approximately 660,000 drivers that are out on the road using their cell phones. Cell phone usage is also highest among 16 to 24-year-olds, so I feel that it's very important that we raise awareness, especially to the younger population. So what are some penalties and consequences of texting and driving? The first one is fines. Fines range anywhere from $20 to $500 depending on the state that you live in. You could get your license suspended. There are also increased rates for your auto insurance if you're insurance discovers that you were texting and driving, they most likely will raise your rates. In prison time, if you injure somebody else, you likely could face prison time. And the most major consequence is injury or death. You could kill yourself, injure yourself, or you could kill others or harm them by your actions from texting and driving. So there is currently no national ban on texting and driving, but there are several states that are trying to enforce this through different laws that they have. As you can see on the map right here, all of the states that are in green, which is almost all of them, currently have a law that states that you are not allowed to text while driving. Missouri is the only state, it has a partial ban on texting and driving, and Arizona and Montana currently they do not have any ban. For instance, I live in the state of Virginia, and there is a law stating that you cannot text and drive, and actually if you are under the age of 18, you are not allowed to use your cell phone in any way while you're driving. Now, even if your state does not have a law that states that you cannot text and drive, often the consequences of texting and driving can lead to some illegal behavior, such as reckless driving. So now that we know that texting and driving is dangerous and often illegal, how can you stop? There are many ways. First one, there's many apps available on all sorts of cell phone devices that help you safely avoid texting and driving. The first one is Live to Text. There's also one called Drive Safe Mode, and there's one called Safe Drive. I like that one because that will reward you for not texting and driving, and then it can give you discounts to local shops that are in your area. Another way is to turn your phone off or put it in silent mode. Another one, put your phone out of reach. That way you're not tempted to glance down and look at it. And the last way is for you to make a lifelong commitment against texting and driving. So AT&T, they've sponsored the slogan, "It Can Wait." If you go on the website called itcanwait.com, you can take the pledge. The pledge states that you will care for those around you while you're driving. You're going to share the message that texting and driving is not safe and that it's not okay. And also that you are aware that you are never alone when you're out on the road. So now I hope that I have encouraged you all not to text and drive if you ever did so in the past. And I encourage you all to spread awareness about this risky and reckless behavior. So start talking to your friends, let them know the statistics and how dangerous it is to text and drive. Share news stories if you read about any or see any on the news. Just share the stories with people that you know. Watch commercials. While I was preparing for this speech, I saw many commercials of texting and driving, and it really opens your eyes to see firsthandly how dangerous the behavior actually is. And the last way is to encourage others. If you're in the car with someone you know, your friends or your loved ones, if they pick up the phone to text, just let them know how dangerous it is and encourage them to put the phone down. So I thank you very much for taking the time to listen to my speech. I hope that you all learned a lot, and just remember to keep your eyes up, your phone off, and together, hopefully we can save some lives.